YouTube Ozick going the Goat House is back with my locks of NFL Week 10. We're here every Thursday with this video going over my best bets and much more. Excited about this week. Did pretty well last week. We have score predictions, which are against spread picks, and a lot more content already on the channel for this week. Check it out. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Follow us on Twitter. Post my tickets on there, my best bet options. It's a good place to be. Follow us on Twitter. Links pinned in the comments for anything you're looking for, including our sponsors. Liquid IV, GLD Shop's got the jewelry. Yeah. You guys know the drill. Spread lock this week. I like the Steelers -3 against the Packers. Spread locks on the year 4 and 5. Spread picks overall. Not overall, but on this video all year 20 and 15. Overall season total done pretty well, actually 76 and 56. So I like the Steelers -3 against the Packers. They're home. They're tough at home. The Packers are struggling. They beat the Rams last week, but it was without Stafford. I think them, not having Kyron Williams still was huge in a game like that. Score was 20-3, but if you just look at the score, it's a little misleading. The game was pretty much close the whole time. So it's a game the Packers should handle too. And going against the Steelers with that pass rush, Mike Tomlin's going to put Jordan Love, who struggled in some tough situations, him being a young quarterback. And the Steelers got the run game. That's the main thing here. They got the run game, surprisingly got the run game going last week against the stout Titans run defense. And now they're playing a sus Packers run defense. So, Deontay Johnson's been getting going. I think the Steelers will have success when it comes to the pass rush, when it comes to stopping the run, when it comes to creating turnovers, when it comes to running the football, when it comes to, they won't go crazy airing it out, but they'll do enough. So at home, -3, I got them winning by 10. I like the Bills beating the Broncos big. I know the Broncos defense has been playing better, but in those 3 games they've played better. They played the same team twice, and then the Packers on the other one. I know the same team twice was the Chiefs. The first one, I don't even know if they played that great. The score might show it, but I don't really think so. Chiefs are lacking receivers. The Bills are not. I think Stephon Diggs is a big game. I think the Broncos could struggle. And they're also home in those games that look good, the Broncos, with that mile-high altitude. They won't have that in Buffalo. Prime time. I think it's going to be a shellacking. It is a big spread, but I like it. Cardinals, I think, should win. They're +1.5. I guess that one's a little tricky because most experts, most people that I trust are picking the Falcons. But in Arizona, Kyler's first game, I know he's got to work through off the rust, but I think it favors them. There's no game plan for this Murray and a West Coast offense. In this system, there's no game plan for it. Falcons don't have Grady Jarrett, obviously. Struggle to stop Dobbs on the ground with Dobbs' legs, I was going to say. So I don't know. I like the Cardinals. And the Lions should cover that 3. It's a tricky one, though, because the Chargers stopped the run so well this year. If they stop the run well against the Lions, and the Chargers, I think, are going to win the game. I just don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they've seen the Lions rush offense with Gibbs and Montgomery. Lions are very physical, so they should cover that. I like the ones at the top, obviously, better. That's the reason for the lock and the rankings. On to alternate spreads, 4-1 on the locks this year, 18-9 on the total picks. This isn't the best odds. But if you want to, these are mainly for pairing with something in a parlay, whether it's something else or 2 other things. So I brought that Cowboys line as far down as I can, try to keep it under -500, and that should be a lock to cover. The -6, if you want to throw that in we'll talk about at the end where I'm throwing that. But Giants might not score. I don't know if the Cowboys offense will go crazy, but they'll be set up in good field position a lot. The defense might score, and the offense will do something, right? So, I'd feel comfortable with them at like -10 even, but I'd play it safe there. Bills bring that down to -2. Maybe you could push that if they win by 2, but I think they're going to win by at least 10 points. I just got a feeling there. When I get those feelings, last week was the Ravens and the Bengals. When I get those feelings, they usually work out. And Pittsburgh +3, they're -3. You can kind of switch that over if you want to parlay and you want to be a little more comfortable. That should be an absolute lock as well. That's what the alternate spreads are for. They're supposed to be locks here, but doing pretty good on those this year. Straight up locks, 8-1 on the year. I was hoping to go undefeated this year on that. I mean, that's tough, and especially this year. But the Bills lost to the Patriots when we had that as a lock. That was the only one. This is probably the lock of all locks on the year. The Cowboys are going to beat the Giants. It's going to look very bad if they don't. But I just don't see how they lose. They're a very good football team. They're better on both sides of the ball. DeVito's at quarterback. The Giants might not score. The Cowboys defense. If it was the Cowboys, if there was like a bet. Who's going to score more points? The whole Giants team, offense, defense, special teams, or the Cowboys defense? I would probably go with the Cowboys defense. I think I would, actually. So, kind of further proves the point that they should be a lock to win. I like the Bills. I like the Steelers. I like those teams to win. And the Steelers is a little risky to put on and as a lock, or up there as a lock to win, or just below the lock, I should say. Because they're not the greatest team in the world. They're pretty good, but and they're only favored by 3, but they're home. I don't think the Packers are good. The score last week is misleading. Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. The Steelers match up so well with them. They got to win that game. I don't see how they don't win that game. So, been pretty good as we should be though on the straight up locks. The upset money line, the actual lock has been great this year. We lost last week. We had the Giants. Daniel Jones went down early. I don't think we would have won that one either way. It felt like, but. Yeah, I know they had some opportunities early, and Daniel Jones got hurt pretty early, but so you never know, I guess. But I like this week's a little tougher. But I really do. I almost didn't put a lock. I almost just listed 2 below the lock, but I put the Cardinals up there. I like the game plan, the matchup factor here in their favor, and they're playing teams tough as it is. I know they won 1 game, but they're playing teams tough. They start off very well. First quarter or even the second half, and then other teams adjust while just having way more talent. But now, the most important position of football where you need the most talent, you got a pretty talented one in Kyler Murray. Now, I know he's rusty, and that could be the reason they lose, and I guess we need to see him in this offense. It's a totally new offense for them, for him, because he's going from like a spread offense to West Coast this year. But there is no tape on that. I don't know, like... You're going to have to put a spy on them, and the Falcons struggled to do that with Dobbs last week. Dobbs ran all over them. I know they had to kind of do that mid-game, but as we can tell, the Falcons aren't good when they don't really have a full-on, sure thing plan, and I don't think there's going to be one of those in this game. And the Cardinals are at home. I think there might be a lot of hype, momentum, especially in that crowd with Murray coming back. James Conner should be coming back. I like the Cardinals. And the Vikings, a tougher one, but I do like them at home. If it was in New Orleans, no, I wouldn't touch it. But at home, I think the Saints are, they've been picking it up on offense a little bit, but I just don't think it's fully, everyone's acting like it's fully fixed, fully cured. I think it's better. I think the chemistry's better than it was, quite a few weeks ago. But I still think it could have its hiccups. And the Vikings defense could be tough. They blitz a lot. They run these weird zone coverages that you really can't tell what's going on. I think they'll get after Carr. It's a very similar matchup is the Buccaneers game for the Saints, which they struggled in. Doesn't mean it's going to be the exact same game, but it's just how will Dobbs be, I guess, is the question. So, but I do have the Vikings winning, so that's another one on there. Over-under, which we've been doing better. The locks were a disaster for a bit, but now, this is that time of the year where I really like unders. We're 4 and 5 over under total picks. We've been above 500, so that's good. But the Jets and Raiders the under 37. Aiden O'Connell's going to struggle with that zone defense the Jets run. They're going to confuse the shit out of them. I don't expect much from the Raiders offense. And then Jets offense doesn't do anything against anybody. Max Crosby's going to be all over the place as well. So this should stay under 37 in Green Bay and Pittsburgh. I just don't think Green Bay will score enough in this game to make this interesting when it comes to the over/under. The Steelers could do their part. I just don't see. I have the Packers scoring 13 this game. Their running game's not that great. Aaron Jones, keeps going down. Cam Hayward again, second game back. I don't think they go crazy on the ground. They can do okay in the passing game. I think that pass rush is going to be too much. Love's kind of struggling. Receivers aren't great. They aren't too bad, really, but this should stay under. So 2 unders I like in my over-under picks. And there's your best bets. I kind of gave you parlay options while doing it. I love the Steelers -3. I've explained it multiple times in this video. I mean, I guess more of a lock would be the Dallas alternate line, but my favorite bet, like actual bet, is the Steelers -3. So, and I put that Dallas alternate line in there. There isn't a long list of things I like, and it's tough because Buffalo's Monday night. Usually you want your bets or your parlays to be on the same day. Sometimes if you like that, but so that's a pretty good 2-game parlay. Pittsburgh -3, Dallas -6, or if you just want to take Pittsburgh money line and bump that alternate line up for Dallas, that can make sense as well. Or if you just want to pair Pittsburgh money line or -3 with the Bills money line or -2, whatever it may be. But those three would be pretty good in a parlay as well. The Cardinals money line, I mean, you're getting positive odds, so you might as well put that by itself. If you do want to pair it with something, go with one of the easier options, the Cowboys or the Bills. And I threw Detroit -3. I guess that one is a little trickier than the other ones because, but I like it. The Chargers are missing receivers. They need to be tested more. The Chargers played on Monday night. The Lions had a bye. Montgomery's coming back. That run game should be strong. I think they'll be able to throw as well. I guess the reason the Chargers could win is Herbert can air it downfield, and that's how you beat the Lions. But they're just missing the receivers. So best bet's been pretty good, 47 and 28. I do like those top three above the rest for sure. And then some options for tonight, Thursday Night Football, Bears, Panthers. Not the best game in terms of how good the teams are, but there's some options here. I like the Komet options a lot. The Cole Komet options, which 25 plus is poor odds. It's not the worst odds in the world. I wouldn't be against going 40 plus. It's just there could be kind of some short yardage passes here, but I do like the receptions. He's had he got 10 receptions off 10 targets, and he had 6 or 7 receptions off 7 or 8 targets the other game with Bagent. So with Bagent, the targets and the receptions are high. I am surprised it's as low as 3.5. I guess the thinking would be maybe they try to get DJ Moore going because he's playing the Panthers, but there's not a ton of logic behind that. But I did list the DJ Moore. I do like 5 catches, 40 yards should be very, very doable against this old team for DJ Moore. But Komet stuff seems easy, and Hayden Hurst I like a lot as well. 16.5 receiving yards. I guess it's a little risky, like a little tricky, because he only gets like 2. He's going to get 2 or 3 catches. That's the issue, but he can get that in 1 catch. The Bears are also dead. That's a big part of it. The Bears are dead last against tight ends. So I would imagine if Hurst is he's due for 2, 3, 4 catches, I think it should be on the higher end of that, given he is playing the worst tight end defense in football. So I would be thinking 3, 4. Could it push up to 5 or 6 receptions? But it's a little risky because, again, sometimes he's a little limited. They're trying to use Tommy Tremble more, but Hurst got an increase in snaps again last week. And again, he can get that in 1 catch. I think I think worst case scenario, he gets 2 catches. And it should be over that mark. It should be over 17 yards. So I do like Hurst. I like the matchup a lot. Mooney's kind of intriguing because they've been trying to get him going more. I like those receiving yards. 29.5 seems pretty low. The more I think about that one, the more I like it. I think I like that better than the receptions because, last game he got a ton of targets. He easily got over that yardage easily. Game before was the Chargers game, and he only got 1 catch. That is the risky part. What if he gets 1 catch again? But he did get over the 30 yards. He got 40 or so yards on that one, but he was also target 4 times. So they've been trying to get him going. So the more I talk about, the more I think about that Mooney one, I like it. The problem is we know Komet's going to get the ball, and DJ Moore is their best player. So he should be getting the ball against his old team. So it could take away from Mooney. That's the scary part, but he can literally get the 30 yards in 1 catch. He's a deep ball guy. I like it better than the receptions. And then Thielen's usually pretty reliable. We talk about DJ Moore. He should get over that, but it's a little – sometimes it goes quiet with him. But Thielen's been pretty reliable. 6.5 receptions seems like a lot, but he very consistently gets over that, very consistently gets 7 catches. So I feel pretty good about that as well. But I like the tight ends a lot in this game. I guess Hurst a little risky because he could get 1 catch, but even with the 1 catch, he can get over it. But against the worst tight end defense, I thought that was working for Bryce Young a little bit earlier near Hurst, so maybe they got to go back to that because he struggled last week. Yeah, I like Komet, and you're not going to get the best odds at 25. I'm not in love with the 40 plus, but it should happen if he gets the 4 catches. But Komet receptions, Hurst yardage, I like those two together a lot. The Mooney yardage is growing on me, but there is some risk. And again, those numbers for Moore and Thielen seem like routine for them at the same time. So I was surprised how much I like in this game, but it is a little scary because there could be a lot. It just could be all defense because both defenses are playing better. Both defenses are playing much better recently. They're both not going to, these teams do not score a whole lot of points. There probably is going to be a lot of running clock. So you got to remember those things and not get too excited about these stuff. So maybe not go for like the biggest things, but so maybe that could remove the Thielen 7 receptions, but he's got that or over every game but one. But yeah, kind of going with the smaller thing. That's why I like the 4 catches for Komet. I mean, the guy had multiple catches in the first drive of the game last week. Big part of their offense. Hurst again. Very doable for their best tight end. So that's what I like for this week and for tonight. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Always talking with you guys on Twitter. Always posting my best bets. Some things kind of change sometimes right before. And I post my tickets on there usually or what I'm going with. So check us out there. Links been in the comments for that. Anything you're looking for. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.